Ben 10 is an animated series that premiered in 2005 and ended in 2008. It has three sequel series, two animated movies, two made for TV live action films, video games, a massive toy line, and a reboot series that had five seasons of its own, a movie, and a couple of specials. It's generated over $7 billion in revenue. I was 5 years old when this show came out. I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up, but I had this series and a wild imagination that took me on my own adventures as an alien watch wielding superhero. And between Ben 10, Spider Man, and Batman, they're the reasons why I wanted to become a hero in the first place and do good. It's now celebrating its 20th anniversary. I'm 25. And this show, despite its flaws, it still means so much to me. So yeah, let's remake that shit a second time. I am so starved for some more Ben 10 content. I know we're supposed to be getting a comic book soon in the future, but I don't think there's a whole lot of information out there about it. Like, is it canon? And when does it take place? There are shows from the 80s to the early 2000s that are still getting merch or even updated action figures to this day, except for Ben 10. For a series that made so much money and received a ton of positive reception from fans and critics alike, I feel like Cartoon Network has underused and mistreated Ben 10 and his family over the years. Seriously though, Cartoon Network, please, please, please make a modern line of action figures with better articulation. I will buy every figure. I've spent so much money on eBay trying to buy back my childhood. My wallet cannot take any more abuse. I don't know why they're even afraid to do anything with the character, especially since the community has never been stronger. And because it's been so strong, I wanted to talk about what I would do if I were in charge of the franchise. And what I want to do is make a live action series. And I know what you're thinking. Why? We shouldn't have to have a live action series in order to legitimize the show as something for people to take seriously. And I totally agree with that. There's too many live action remakes these days, and we don't need them. But that's because they have nothing to say, and they're only made to capitalize off of nostalgia and make $1 billion. You have studios like Disney who are so confident in that mindset that they barely change anything. Look at the live action Lion King remake. That was nearly shot for shot the exact same thing. Lilo and Stitch had nothing new to say. It was only a clip show of the best moments for people to go, oh, I remember that, I love that, therefore I love this movie. But that's not what we're doing with Ben 10. I wanted to serve an actual purpose for its existence. For starters, I want to fix Ben's character. In the original series, I think he was a bit too much of a brat and was forced to relearn the same lessons over and over. We need to see that gradual change in Ben's character and see how he goes from this brat to the eventual mature leader and alien force that he is. Essentially, I want to make him more human. Think of it in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. We spent a lot more time with Uncle Ben before he died. We learned who he was. I want to spend more time with Ben before he gets the watch. We learn more about his interests and hobbies, how he gets bullied at school but it doesn't affect him all that much. He protects others even though it usually never goes in his favor. And we meet his parents and see what they're like. Carl is unsure of letting his son go on a vacation with his father because in his eyes, Max was never reliable. He was always away on some plumber mission, but he never knew about that, so he has this terrible perception of who his father is. And I want to learn why Ben and Gwen fight, but squash that beef pretty quickly, so that way we don't spend an entire summer of hearing Doofus and Dweeb over and over. And when it comes to the effects, I want everything to be as practical as possible. Think of early Star Wars. There's makeup, costumes, prosthetics. It literally needs to feel slimy, creepy, fast, and strong. The aliens are all different shapes and sizes, so let's make them actually feel that way instead of just using CGI. That would be lazy. It would make the transformation scenes even much more memorable as well. I think there would also be a bit of a creep factor, which is what you need whenever your DNA is literally changing and you're gaining extra limbs. I want the first season to be 10 episodes, just because why not? But also build up to Vilgax as being the threat that he is. Follow the first season of the cartoon as the blueprint. Take out some filler episodes, but keep the villains that follow Ben throughout his whole life. Animo, Kevin, Charmcaster, and then have hints and scenes that lead to Vilgax. Think about how the MCU did it with Thanos. We could have a real lineup of villains that are scary and threatening. We could also have a rogues gallery that actually become the Negative 10 and are always expanding and changing like the Sinister Six in Marvel. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of ideas that I have for this show, as I'm saving most of them for myself in case I can ever get off my lazy ass and write a script for it. But let me know if you guys would like to hear any more, because I have so much more that lead all the way up to Omniverse and show how we get Ben to grow into Ben 10,000, the hero of heroes. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening to my trash, and I love you.